Hello everyone, this is Moose101, and today I'm going to be talking about an event that occurred recently in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and that is that ARG, which runs some Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, has announced that they will be using their own ban list instead of Konami's official one for some of their events, and they also announced what that ban list would be for now. Personally, there are aspects of the ban list that I like and aspects of it that I don't like, and I'll address both in turn. So first of all, for things I do like, the ban list addressed some loops, FTKs, and other cards that are just problematic to the game or will be problematic to the game at some time when new cards are released. Things like Fusion Gate, Royal Magical Library, Instant Fusion, especially those latter two, because those, I agree, make the game less fun if you never get a chance to go, and I don't want it to get to the point where it is necessary for you to run many hand traps just so you don't get killed before you have a chance to take a turn. So I think that was good. It also addressed some of the more dominating decks in the game, such as Burning Abyss or Shadal's. I think the hits they made to those decks were pretty good. For Burning Abyss, they semi-limited Dante and then limited Sir, and for Shadal's, they limited Construct and limited Shadal Fusion, and I thought those were pretty good hits. They also gave some cards that are no longer as relevant as they once were some leeway by letting them come up or off the list. Such as Insector Hornet and Rescue Rabbit, which both went to 2, and I think that's pretty good. I always like to see that. And while these are good things, these are also all things that I would hope to receive from Konami's own list, so I don't feel like these are unique properties of the ARG list that I would be flocking to it to see, and I don't feel like it's a revolution within the game and the stuff that they were hitting, it's just their take on a ban list. There were also things that I really didn't like about the list. Certain top-tier decks seem to have been hit almost excessively, and that would be Necros, really, is what I'm talking about. I have Divine Punishment up here because that seems kind of like what they unleashed on it. Not only did they limit Unicorn and ban Jin, which are two pretty common hits I seem to see people talk about when it comes to the deck, but they banned Trishula too, like 3-0, that is enormous. And whereas I feel like the deck could be adjusted down, they instead went ahead and just murdered it, like, I'm not sure if it would still be viable, but it seems like they're taking a very big, very hasty step there that I'm not totally sure they should be doing. And also, other decks seem to have been kind of forgotten. Teller Knights were just kind of left, free, like, you want to try for a loop, you go ahead. And it seems like when the top-tier deck is hit so hard, and some of the other decks are also adjusted, the ones they seem to more or less forget are going to become serious problems within the game. There were some hits on the list that I feel like are almost nonsensical. Love of All Chain was banned, which I discussed in a recent video, and I really don't think that it should be banned. And additionally, while Elemental Hero Stratus went to 1, they felt it was necessary to put Elemental Hero Bubbleman to 1 as compensation, and that seems really weird to me because, first of all, I don't think Stratus would break heroes if it were to go to 1 and no other changes were made. And I feel like if you're trying to hurt heroes, I feel like Bubbleman is a very strange place to turn when taking a poke at Rhoda or Emergency Call or Shadow Mist, I feel like would be much more relevant hits to the deck rather than going at Bubbleman. Also, Mistake went to 1, and I'm not totally happy with that because Mistake is not a floodgate that I think you would include in any deck if you had no idea what you would be facing, because it's not universally helpful, and it encourages variety within the meta if the meta is very reliant on searching cards from their deck to their hand. Then you can use cards like Mistake to counter that, and putting it to 1 would seem to me to make the meta more dominating when they're trying to make the meta as varied as possible, so it seems very strange that they would then remove tools players have for combating a single deck that becomes the absolute best in the game. While reasoning for the ban list changes was included in the article, it felt like the reasoning was somewhat lacking, or at least the explanations were. Some of the cards, they simply said they don't let you play the game and thus should be banned, such as I believe Vandy's Emptiness had that justification, and I'm not entirely sure that makes sense because there are a lot of cards that have some sort of control aspect, and it's not true that any of these floodgates make it so you're unable to play the game. Some are certainly stronger than others and some are more universal than others, but none of them have no outs whatsoever, and it feels like it's kind of strange reasoning to hit a card and then simply say it doesn't let you perform this aspect of the game, when really the real reason would be, oh, it's too splashable, or it's simply, you know, too good against today's meta or something like that. So while I agree with some of the hits they made, I don't necessarily agree with the reasoning they had for them. The other explanation I saw them use occasionally was it makes the game less fun, and that one I feel is just such a broad argument because a lot of things can be unfun depending on how they're used. And so once again, even if I didn't necessarily disagree with the hits they were making, I thought the reasoning they had for making those hits didn't really fit in my mind. What do you guys think? Do you like the ARG ban list? Do you think this is a positive thing for the game? If you enjoyed, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment letting me know how you feel. Until next time, see ya!